Hey everyone, this is Austin-Sensei, and welcome to a video, and I'm going to first talk about the good old animes that I enjoyed from fall. And if you didn't know, I'm not going to pull pictures up actually for this, the second half, which I'll probably leave a timestamp at some point in the video so you can kind of just zip past this to see what I'm covering. But first things first, for fall, my top anime for fall would have to be The Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime. And my biggest disappointment, honestly, was Goblin Slayer. It turned out to be a very mediocre anime, and it took a lot from, well, it cut a lot of stuff from its manga. And I know people are like, oh, but it was for the best. No, it wasn't. I mean, when you change characters' backgrounds, when you cut action scenes out, and kind of have these action scenes that are just laughable because they're not as great as, actual source material. I hate to be that person to say, a manga and a light novel are better than actual anime. This is true, but then again, it's made by White Fox, and has White Fox really gone very close to any light novel? Not really. So, not much of a surprise there, but that was honestly one of the biggest disappointments. I thought it was going to go very dark, and I'm like, if it goes dark, it go dark. Don't, bend halfway, and they bent. And when you have more talking with the High Archer Elf versus the Lolly Priestess, and her scenes have been cut out, and I'm very angry about that because she's a very good character. Sword Maiden, just that's another story, another video for another day. But that's for Goblin Slayer. SAO has been pretty good. It has some of those episodes that are just kind of boring, that I'm kind of just sitting through like, information that I already know about. Woo! But some of the a couple of the animes that are kind of slipped past people, I'm pretty sure, as Miss Beelzebub likes, and I love that anime. It is actually my favorite, along with Uzume, and I thought Uzume was going to turn into this really lolly kind of lover anime, but it didn't. It actually had quite a beautiful message, and I would love to do a review on it, but it's up to you guys, so tell me in the comments down below, hint hint. But that's what was going on with Fallen. Another disappointment I'm going to have to say is Senran Kagura. I expected a good amount out of Senran Kagura, but I guess I shouldn't have expected too much, because it kind of just it felt like a shell of what the show was, and it just, I don't know, I didn't feel enjoyment watching it. Well, we have Conception, and Conception wasn't great. It was quite honestly really bad, and of course My Sister, My Writer, yes, the animation did have a good amount of problems, but that story actually was pretty good. I know some people are like, oh, it's just they didn't get it together at the end. I told everyone, it isn't that weird anime that you guys were thinking it was going to be. It's quite actually a good anime. I mean, the story was pretty great, but that's for kind of like Fall. And overall, Fall had like three great animes. I know people love Zombieland. I couldn't get into it, so I'd rather not speak on that subject. I know JoJo is another one that people are watching, and hey, at 1 million subscribers, I'll watch all the JoJo series and review JoJo. Remember that. I promise that one. But just those are the animes that kind of just, I stayed away from, because, I'm not going to cover something I don't like in. I know with Rascal Doesn't Dream of Bunny Senpai, I'm going to just tell you right here, right now, even though some people still can't get it through the thick skull, there's not going to be another season. The movie is basically wrapping everything up. Yes, there's 9 light novels, and there is another one that's coming out, but that's for its spin-off series. And if you ask me the name, I don't really remember, because I saw it on Crunchyroll and all over the place, and people are like, oh, that means Rascal's is going to keep going, we're going to another season. No! Stop having false hope. Don't be like me with certain animes. I mean, I would love to have another season of Problem Children Are Coming from Another World, aren't they? But we're not getting that, are we? Even though that anime was top tier. That's a fantasy anime that you should watch if you haven't watched any. Haven't even heard of it. I recommend it, but it's just Rascal. I was afraid of what was going to happen. I know people are like, oh, you talked about the 3rd episode being the ending. Yes, when I said that book came out at the end, that was the pre-sequel kind of thing to kind of make things make sense. That author, he's a very good author, and I know when I say this, I'm going to get a lot of hate. Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai isn't his best work. I really do think seeing this end, and I'm probably going to see the movie. I gave you bits and pieces throughout my reviews about Shoko that you should pay attention to her. No one listened to me. Oh well. But the Pet Girl Sakura's. It was so much better than Rascal. And I know people get upset when I say that, but it's the truth. I love the guy. That author is a freaking talented writer, but the light novel and this, if you don't know what a light novel is, I do feel I have to explain this. A light novel isn't a long book like what we have in America or Europe. It is a short story, basically, and that's why they covered... And each light novel usually is an arc, by the way, or it continues an arc, which, you know, like DxD. DxD has that True Hero or True Dragon arc that's still going, but with Rascal, each book had a different arc, and that's why I know people get very angry when I say this, especially Twitter. They can't handle the truth, apparently, but for each 3 episodes or each arc, that was a light novel, and there's certain things that were cut short, which I wish we would have a little more time on, but for the sake of, you know, getting the movie to go, that's what was happening. And honestly, I would rather have a Darling in the Franxx movie over a Rascal Doesn't Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai movie. I know that's another controversial thing, but I'm going to say it because, you know what? This is my channel and I like to do what I like to do. But that's kind of how I would see Clover work in. Animation, it wasn't really spectacular as I thought it was going to be. And the music in the opening, oh my god, that was great. That was some good opening music. That was actually one of the shows I enjoyed the openings for. But overall, Rascal, I was in the middle with it. I liked the beginning, but towards the end, it kind of felt distant. That's how I would put it. And I know people love May. My issue with May is that she is a character that really doesn't change, and I don't know. I don't like her cold attitude. Sometimes it's a personal experience. Then I've dated a girl exactly like that, and just I wish she would change a little bit, but hey, that's asking too much apparently. But anyways, with everyone ready to hit that dislike button before I get to the actual key point here, let's talk about the winter animes I'm going to be covering, which come with a long list. Here we go. I'm going to pull this list up for you. I will be covering Shield Hero, obviously. That's one of the animes I've been hyped for. Date Alive, of course, I'm going to be doing, but I'm going to talk a little more about what's going to happen with it. Yes, I'm going to continue covering Slime because I love Slime, and this one coming up is kind of a iffy, maybe, just a maybe. I got to see a couple episodes, but those are the animes I'm possibly going to be covering. In with anything that is on the weekend, or it is a Saturday anime, which is Shield Hero, I'm going to try to push that to Sunday because when, you know, my classes start to begin, I'm not going to have as much time to do as many videos. So with like Date Alive, I will try to get it out right away for you, but no promises. If anything, it'll fall back to Friday. And yeah, that's kind of what's going on with that stuff. But more stuff that I want to talk about is with the whole Date Alive thing. I am going to try to do the best I can do, as I said before, but it's kind of be an iffy thing since it's on the 11th. And let me show you the other animes I'm going to be watching besides, you know, covering. So if you want to talk to me on, you know, my Discord or Twitter or hear about it, feel free. But let me bring those up for you. This one I was actually thinking about covering, but it kind of interferes with Date Alive, so that's a big iffy. Now, of course, I have to watch this one. I watched the first season. I wasn't a big fan of it at first, but it wore me in. This one I kind of like. I like romance animes. It's just one of those things that, you know, I want to take a break from all the action kind of stuff. Don't judge me. Either way, you're going to judge me. But those are the kind of winter animes I'm going to be kind of talking about and looking at. I may add more, but as I said, with reviews, I'm going to do it to the point where I feel I can talk about it without dreading to do the video. That's a new thing I want to get across, because there's certain series, and I know you see me not covering certain animes as much as I would, you know, Senran Kagura, Rascal. Those animes kind of wore on me, kind of thing, so I didn't want to give you content that's utterly horrible. I mean, I like to give you quality stuff most of the time, but some people don't have that kind of thing, apparently. But overall, that's what's going to happen. And as I said, it's going to be a little strange at first, and I know with Shield Hero, I actually want to get across with this. If the first 2 episodes are going to be an hour long, do wait for a video for the first impression for the first 2 episodes, because that's a lot to take in, and I really hate reviewing an hour long episode. with SAO, I kind of dreaded doing that one, but it got boring at a point. But anyways, that's kind of what's going on with the whole winter scene. And as I said, the schedule is submit to kind of change, and we'll see if it does change. So do pay attention to the community tab or in my videos. But anyways, guys, that's kind of what's going on. Tell me what animes you're watching this winter. I kind of want to extend my list. I probably will extend it more. I know Strike the Blood is having OVA or a third season. I don't remember exactly. I like Strike the Blood, if you didn't know, but that's something I probably will be watching if it is anywhere, if I can find it. But most of these stuff I'm going to be watching on Crunchyroll. I think they're going to be mostly on Crunchyroll, with the exception of some of them, because I don't know where the quintuplets, whatever you call that, good old anime. I don't remember the English translation, I'm going to be honest, but that's one thing I'm still not sure about, so I can't tell you information about that. I do know Data Live is most likely going to be on either Funimation or Crunchyroll. I feel that deal has been gone through, and Shield Hero is going to be on both Funimation and Crunchyroll. If you are curious, then again, most of you just probably are going to end up watching it for free. I don't blame you. But yeah, that's kind of the rundown. So as I said, down in the comments down below about what are you watching, and I'm curious, and I hope we can have some kind of discussion throughout the time. And as the schedule is submitted to be changed, so pay attention to that. But anyways, guys, this is Austin-Sensei signing out. Peace.